Disney World can be complicated, and with thousands of tips and tricks floating around, how do you know which ones are the best? We've got the ultimate list of all the things you need to know before your upcoming Disney vacation right here on DFV Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. So we here at DFB Guide consider ourselves Disney World pros. We're in the parks every single day, and we've been covering Disney food and news for over a decade, and we're all about sharing that hard-won wisdom with you. So we gathered up our team and voted on the best Disney World tips and tricks of all time. These are the hacks and advice we personally use on every single trip, and we want you to have the perfect trip just like the pros do, so we're sharing our knowledge. You don't need to worry about taking notes though. We've written everything up in an easy printable resource guide for you. Go to disneyfoodblog.com/best tips to get the free list sent right to your inbox. When you drop us your email, we'll also sign you up for our totally free newsletter. Our newsletter subscribers are the first to know about all the latest news coming out of the Disney parks, so we'll make sure you don't miss a thing. All right, one of those epic tips are discounted gift cards. This is when you can start early in your planning. If you're a Sam's Club or Costco member, keep an eye out in store and online for discounted Disney gift cards. And if you're a Target Red Card holder, use that 5% on Disney gift card purchases as well to rack up some more savings. Disney gift cards can be used for anything in and around Disney World, from paying off your hotel or vacation package balance to meals and souvenirs. So if you buy discounted gift cards, that means you're basically getting a discount on your whole Disney vacation. All right, next super important tip is to keep checking back for FastPass and dining reservations. While I'm recording this video, FastPass still isn't back, but this tip works for advanced dining reservations too. And to be fair, hotel reservations and park passes. Plans change. That's why we're always recommending you keep checking for the dinner reservation or FastPass time or park pass reservation or hotel you weren't able to get. Advanced dining reservations at Disney World have a 24-hour cancellation window. If you don't cancel 24 hours in advance, you could be charged a no-show fee of $10 per person. So right around that 24-hour mark is the perfect time to check for last-minute cancellations. And for FastPass, when it returns, don't give up. Keep checking even on the day of. We've often seen time slots pop up to skip the line, even late in the afternoon for some of the most popular rides in Disney World. Park passes, well, Disney keeps adding park passes, especially for those most popular days that tend to sell out very, very quickly. So if there's a particular day that your park isn't open that you want to go to, keep refreshing that page each day. Disney keeps adding more. And then, of course, it's been really, really hard to book some hotels lately. So keep refreshing and checking back to see if someone's maybe canceled a room or if that hotel has for some reason opened up additional rooms. So keep checking back, keep checking back, keep checking back. That is definitely a huge tip that's going to make a big difference for your trip. Okay, mobile order. If you plan on getting food from counter service restaurants in Disney World, get ready to pull out your phone. Disney is still asking guests to mobile order food from restaurants that offer the service. This makes things a little more convenient, but also kind of a pain if you don't plan ahead. When you mobile order, you select a time slot for when you'd like to pick up your food. If you book too late at the popular restaurants, you may miss out on the times that work best for you and your family. So research ahead of time where and what you want to order and put that order in early. You can always change your pickup window as it gets closer if there are more times available. All right, our number 4 tip, switching up shoes. You're going to be walking a lot more than normal when you're in Disney World, and footwear will be one of the most important decisions you make. Don't bring new shoes that you haven't broken in or tested out on long walks. And be sure to plan to bring more than one pair of shoes. If the one pair of shoes you plan to wear the whole trip start rubbing in an annoying spot or get wet or you get a blister, you'll be glad you brought a backup pair. Now, I personally tend to bring 3 or 4 pairs of walkable, I've tested them out shoes because even though I've been to Disney World a bajillion times, I do tend to get blisters those first days. And so I like to wear one pair of shoes the first day, a different pair of shoes the second day, then I'll go back to the first pair of shoes the third day. Maybe one of them gets really, really wet and they don't dry out in time, so I go to the third pair of shoes. Really, honestly, I bring like 3 or 4 pairs of walking shoes to Disney World, and it's never steered me wrong. I tend to use all of them, so just a heads up on that. Now, I know if you're bringing your whole family, you're not going to pack 4 pairs of walking shoes for everybody, but definitely bring 2. All right, next tip is knowing where first aid and baby care centers are. If you're in the parks and find yourself in need of some OTC medications like Tylenol, Benadryl, antacids, or even something like Band-Aids, swing by First Aid where you can get single servings of those medications for free or very, very low cost. The baby care centers also offer a cool, quiet place to sneak away with the kids if you need to breastfeed or just give them a minute in the AC. They also have items like diapers, formula, pretty much any convenience store items you'd find in your hotel gift shop like deodorant and larger bottles of aspirin for sale as well. Now, speaking of those kids, bring a change of clothes for dinner or for your kids. In case you get hot or ride Splash Mountain and find yourself a little damp before your dinner reservation, toss in an extra pair of clothes to swap into so you aren't shivering in the AC. And if you plan to let your kids play in splash pads around the park, don't forget to bring some extra clothes for them. If you don't need a whole outfit, consider bringing some dry socks if you're going to ride some water rides, because that poncho's not going to cover your feet. And also, any of you have kids know that accidents happen, and you definitely don't want to interrupt your park day to go all the way back to the hotel. So bring that extra underwear, extra pair of shorts for everybody, and you'll be covered. All right, tip number 7, go to the left. Yep, people, especially in the United States, have a tendency to always go to the right first. It's the side of the road we drive on, and it just seems natural to veer towards Tomorrowland when you're headed down Main Street. Don't follow the crowds, though. Going to the left in Disney World will almost always mean shorter lines and fewer crowds, at least until the entire park is crowded. So always be looking for shorter lines at park entrances, waiting for the monorail. Look beyond the crowd to see if there are tap styles or monorail cars with fewer people in line. Most people are going to go to what's right in front of them and stop when an extra few steps could save you time waiting in line, find you an empty monorail car, etc., etc. Don't just follow the crowd, go past the crowd. All right, number 8 is to get free souvenirs. You won't hear free in Disney World very often, so take advantage when you can. You can get celebration buttons at your hotel's front desk or at guest relations in the parks. They have them for birthdays, weddings, and honeymoons, or you can write in whatever you're celebrating. And when you're on Disney Transportation, ask the driver for transportation trading cards. Those are super fun. Kids love to collect them. And look out for cast members with stickers. Often the folks at the DVC kiosks in the parks will have them, and guest services, of course, will have them. So if your kids are sticker collectors or they may just want to feel a little bit more special, then go ahead and grab stickers for them. All right, tip number 9, check for ride refurbishments. All right, one of the biggest bummers is getting to Disney World, heading to that ride you've been planning on for the past year, and it's not open. Sometimes weather or unexpected issues can cause a ride to close, but for the most part, closures are scheduled in advance, and you can find out about them on the Disney World calendar. They'll list which rides are going to be closed when, along with showtimes and park hours, right on the Disney World website. And of course, we also cover all upcoming ride refurbishments on DisneyFoodBlog.com every single week. So if your favorite ride is Splash Mountain or your kid's favorite ride is Big Thunder Mountain, you absolutely want to know if the trip dates you've chosen happen to be dates that those rides are closed. Check in advance, and then you might be able to change those trip dates if needed. Okay, mobile checkout. No one likes waiting in line, but there's one place you can skip the line, at least in a few instances. Mobile checkout is still in its testing phase, though it's available at Mouse Gear and Epcot and World of Disney and Disney Springs right now. You can shop right in the My Disney Experience app by scanning items in those stores with your phone. Then you can pay for those items without ever stopping by the cashier. When you're leaving, just swing by a little kiosk where a cast member will verify your purchase and bag your stuff. So no winding, switchbacky lines for you to get to a cash register. You do it all on your phone. It's a great tip and one you should definitely take advantage of, especially on those busy shopping days. Okay, speaking of shopping, look for the sales. Sales are not super common in Disney World, but if you know where and when to look, you can grab some great bargains. At the end of seasons, after holidays and festivals, Disney's trying to get rid of all that seasonal merchandise. We've seen up to 70% off holiday merchandise in stores around the parks. There's also a Disney outlet store near the parks where you can find authentic parks merchandise for cheaper if you have the ability to get yourself off Disney property. And if you check shopdisney.com, you may find some free shipping deals or other promos that you can use on Disney Parks merchandise. Bonus there, you can ship the stuff straight home and not worry about it fitting in your luggage. But yeah, if you're in and around Disney World at the end of a season or the end of a festival, definitely look for that signage in the park stores that says, 50% off all Food and Wine Festival merchandise or whatever. That's awesome to find those. All right, tip number 12, get that free water, my friends. It is summer in Florida. That means it's hot. Even when it's not hotter than the sun, you need to stay hydrated. You're walking a lot and you got to remember to drink water. Luckily, you won't have to shell out $5 for a water bottle every single time if you know this tip. There are water filling stations by restrooms if you've brought your own bottle, and during the hotter months, quick service restaurants may set up water stations where you can grab a cup of ice water. And you can always ask for a cup of water at any counter service restaurant anywhere in Walt Disney World. They will give you a cup of ice water. Totally free, no questions asked. Okay, tip number 13, leave a little earlier than you think you need to. At Disney World, you should always leave plenty of time for transportation. On the Disney website, you'll see a recommendation of leaving yourself at least 90 minutes to get from point A to point B in Disney World, and that's not an exaggeration. If you need to wait for a bus or the monorail or Skyliner, and there's any sort of a delay, well, you could find what you thought was a quick trip take upwards of an hour or more. If you're really running late, consider driving yourself or getting a ride share like Lyft or Uber to get you to your destination. This is almost always going to be faster than Disney transportation. And don't forget, taxis are there and available. You can get a taxi at any one of the Disney theme parks. You can get a taxi at any hotel. So just ask a cast member where to find the taxi stand or to order you a taxi. All right, tip number 14, know where to find Mickey Mouse. Whether it's a character meal or cavalcade, you may need a plan to see Mickey. It's not like the old days where he's just like hanging out everywhere. So don't expect to just run into your favorite characters. They aren't just wandering the parks the way they used to do in Disneyland. But they also aren't meeting at designated meet and greet locations at designated times right now. Cavalcades are going to happen sporadically in the parks, and these are kind of like mini parades. So you may just need to keep an ear out for when you hear one coming by. Some characters are meeting in socially distanced areas, and you may be able to ask a cast member in the area generally when they'll be coming out, but there won't be any posted time schedule at the moment. Now, I'm sure those times guides are going to come back, and I'm sure those times guides are going to list the characters in the future. But right now, when we still have COVID protocols in place, you won't find character times listed on a schedule. Character meals are going to be the only way to guarantee you'll see a character, and those are limited to Mickey and some of his friends at the moment, though you will see Cinderella briefly when you dine at Cinderella's royal table. But don't forget to join our newsletter. We'll let you know when those princess character meals come back en force. All right, next tip, make plans before you need to make reservations. This makes sense, but a lot of people don't think about it. They know they've got to make their dining reservations a certain amount of time before they go to Walt Disney World, whether that's 60 days, 180 days, whatever the time frame is at the time. But don't forget they actually need to spend some time planning and figure out where you want to go before that booking window opens up. So know where you want to eat and any other activities that have a reservation like lightsaber building before your booking window opens. Advanced dining reservations can book up fast, and you may miss them if you don't book as soon as they open. I already gave you that tip about checking back often, but it's a lot less stressful if you have the reservation well in advance. Right now, dining reservations open 60 days in advance, but that may change back to 180 days anytime. If you're staying at a Disney hotel, you'll be able to book for your whole trip starting 60 days out from your arrival. If you're staying somewhere else, you'll need to make those reservations in advance of each day. All right, number 16, celebrate Halloween in August. Holiday seasons in Disney World aren't just the few days or few weeks around the holiday itself. You can celebrate Halloween in August and Christmas at Thanksgiving. You don't need to spend the primo holiday rates and battle holiday crowds to have the same experience that people do when they go on the actual day. Decorations go up early, special events start happening months in advance so that more people can experience the holiday at Disney World. Trick-or-treating in August might be a little weird, but saving $20 per person on tickets to the Boo Bash is a pretty good reason to celebrate early, right? So be sure to see when those holiday seasons start. Halloween starts in August and Christmas starts right about November 2nd in Disney World. So that's when you can actually start celebrating those holidays. You don't have to go on the actual holiday when things are super busy. All All right, number 17, check those menus before your trip. Menus can change a lot in Disney World, especially table service and fine dining restaurants that rely on seasonal ingredients and market prices. So things change real quickly with those, and all the other restaurants tend to change their menus about twice a year in the fall and in the spring. So when you're choosing where you want to eat and where you want to plan to make your advanced dining reservations, check those menus. You can see all the updated menus over on allears.net. They do a really good job keeping those very much up to date. So check those out before you make your advanced dining reservations, and then check back right before your trip. Again, those menus are going to change. You don't want to end up at the restaurant day of with a menu full of stuff no one in your group wants to eat. So check before you book the dining reservation, then check again about 2 weeks before you go and see kind of what's going on if anything's changed drastically. All right, tip number 18, swap out your sides. You can always ask your server to omit sauces or swap out a side for something else, but they can't make miracles happen like bringing back old dishes with components that are nowhere on the menu anymore. This is at the discretion of your server, but it's usually something they can do. They can sort of bring you a different side dish if you see it on the menu and you'd prefer it. So for example, if your steak is served with au gratin potatoes and you'd rather have mac and cheese, and you see mac and cheese is being served with the pork chop, then you can probably ask for the mac and cheese with your steak instead of the au gratin potatoes. But the super big tip within this tip is you can actually save money at quick service restaurants if you omit the side as well. So if you're not going to eat the fries, ask for your entree without them, and you could save a few bucks. I've even saved a few cents by taking the bun off my burger. So you never know. I don't know what the specific qualifications are to actually save money if you omit part of the meal, but every time I've asked for an entree without the sides, I do save money on it. So that's a great tip if you're not going to eat that stuff anyway. All right, number 19, all restaurants have allergy-friendly options. Now, if you have an allergy or dietary restriction, do not worry. All the restaurants in Disney World have full allergy-friendly menus that take into consideration the top allergens with dishes that are safe for you to eat. These will clearly know which dishes are safe for those with gluten, soy, egg, shellfish, and other common allergies, along with plant-based dining options for those who are eating vegetarian or vegan. Now, if you have multiple allergens or very specific dietary needs, you should contact Disney in advance. We have a whole bunch of info for those traveling to Disney with allergies and special diets. Just head to disneyfoodblog.com/special diet cheat sheet to get a list of our favorite restaurants for special diets and where and when to contact based on your specific needs. Tip number 20 is book with a travel agent. You're doing all the research and all the planning, and you're thinking, why would I need a travel agent? My question, why wouldn't you? Disney travel agents offer their services for free. A lot of people don't realize it's completely free. They're paid on commission by Disney, which means their services don't cost you anything. Now, on the other side of the coin, they can help with any questions you may have. They can find and apply new discounts to your trip. That's really the main value for a travel agent, is if you book a trip and then a new discount comes out. Those discounts sell out quickly and they can apply it for you before it sells out. Most importantly, they can wait on hold for you. Disney hold times when calling in have been astronomical lately. Like, we were on hold for 11 hours to book Boo Bash tickets. So don't waste your whole day on hold. That's literally their job, to contact Disney on your behalf. We love Small World Vacations. If you're still in the market for a travel agent, they're knowledgeable. They've got years of experience planning just Disney travel. So whether you're hands-on or want someone else to take care of all the details, using a travel agent can still save you time and money, and you get to decide exactly how much time they save you. All right, tip number 21, never, ever pay full price at Disney. Speaking of finding discounts, there are always discounts of some kind for a Disney vacation. Whether it's hotel percentage discounts or free ticket offers, package discounts, etc., there's always something being offered, and you should never pay full price for your hotel room. Sometimes you may book early and there weren't any deals that apply to your travel dates, but keep checking back on the special offers tab on the Disney World website. You can edit your trip and apply new deals before you arrive, or if you have a travel agent, they can do that for you. Next tip is to buy those tickets early. There are a few reasons to grab your park tickets as soon as you know your vacation dates. First, you can lock in those park pass reservations. Disney's planning to continue using the park pass reservation system for the foreseeable future, which means you need to decide which park you want to visit each day and make a reservation. If you don't and that park books up, you'll need to wait until park hopping starts at 2 p.m. if you have a park hopper ticket to go to the park you wanted to go to originally. Book park passes as soon as you have your tickets to avoid missing out, because I'll tell you what, you guys, those park passes are absolutely selling out. And another little plug here for booking your advanced dining reservations early as well, because if you can't get into a particular restaurant that you want to eat at on the day you have a park pass for that particular park, you may need to switch your park passes up in order to get your dining reservation the day that you're able to get the dining reservation. So it can get really confusing. So book everything early. That's the best way to make sure you actually get the park passes, the dining reservations that you want on those specific days. All right, now another reason to grab your park tickets early is that you can avoid dealing with potential price hikes. It's been a while since we've seen an increase in ticket prices, which means they could be on the horizon. If you buy those tickets before the price increase, you'll have locked into a lower price and won't have to worry about socking away some extra cash. Okay, next on our list of tips is plan 2 days in Hollywood Studios. If you're not a Star Wars fan and you have no intention of riding Rise of the Resistance, you can probably skip this tip, but if you know you need to ride that ride, then plan more than one day to make sure it happens. You must have a park pass reservation for Hollywood Studios on the day you want to ride, and then you have to get a boarding pass or a spot in the virtual queue. These are tough to get. It's an understatement when I say they're tough to get. And if you miss out on your planned Hollywood Studios day or something goes wrong and the ride is closed most of the day, you're going to be out of luck. 2 days in the park increases your chance of getting to ride Rise of the Resistance. All right, but the next tip is know how to ride Rise of the Resistance. If you didn't know you need a boarding pass to ride this ride, then this is your wake-up call. Boarding passes, or those spots in the virtual queue, are distributed at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. in the My Disney Experience app on your phone, and they're typically gone within seconds. You'll want to set an alarm so you don't miss out, and be sure to have your family linked up in the app ahead of time. Linking everyone on the day of can be time consuming and mean you miss out on your spot in line. So have everyone linked to you before that day, and then have everybody who wants to ride Rise of the Resistance linked to you when you're booking the virtual queue spot. Now, this next one is a tip that nobody's had to worry about for a long time, but now you got to worry about it again. Have a plan for fireworks. Yep, fireworks are back in Disney World, which means one more thing to plan. If you want the perfect view, you'll want to get that spot early. Keep an eye on crowds, but plan to start staking out a spot probably 30 minutes to an hour in advance. If you prefer to waltz in at the last moment rather than stand in a packed crowd for an hour, check to see if dessert parties are back. They can cost close to $100 per person, but you'll get a full dessert buffet with beer and wine and a designated spot to stand during the fireworks with a guaranteed great view without battling crowds. Don't care about the fireworks? Well, ride those rides instead. Everyone wants to see the show, so lines get shorter leading up to and during the fireworks at most Disney parks. All right, now you've heard us talk a lot about the My Disney Experience app, and our next tip is to learn how to actually use it before your trip. The My Disney Experience app is a useful tool you're going to find yourself using many times throughout your vacation, and Disney's actually really leaning into this one. They're kind of making it a necessity with a lot of the things they're adding, so get to know it before you go. Link everyone in your group and link all of their tickets. This will make it easier when you need to make park pass reservations and dining reservations, and get those virtual queue spots for Rise of the Resistance, etc. Learn what you can do with My Disney Experience. You can mobile order your food, open your hotel door, shop for souvenirs, check into your hotel, check wait times for rides, check times for shows, find the nearest bathroom, or which restaurant has chicken nuggets on the menu. This app is basically everything you might need to know right on your phone, and it is going to be critical for your trip to Walt Disney World. So the best part is you can actually open it up and play with it before you even go. You can even go through the process of making a mobile order. You just don't have to click buy. So test out everything, get to know what all the buttons lead to so that things go faster and easier when you're in the parks. Okay, number 27 sounds like a no-brainer, but a lot of people don't even think about it before they go to Disney World. Know what time you need to arrive at the parks. If you want to be the first in line, don't show up when the parks open. Show up even earlier. The theme parks will typically let guests in early. Sometimes that's 30 minutes early, sometimes it's 10. You'll want to be through security and ready to enter the gates at least 30 minutes before park opening if you plan to, quote, rope drop, unquote. If you like to sleep in, know that the parks typically start getting crowded around 2 to 3 hours after opening and will stay that way. After fireworks shows, if the parks stay open, crowds will be fewer, and Animal Kingdom tends to see crowds drop in the afternoon as people have done everything and are ready to move on to the next park. If you're not an early riser, plan to stay late to take advantage of lower crowds. And don't forget, Disney will be instituting early theme park entry for hotel guests and some late park hours for more specific hotel guests. So get the details on all of that. Be sure you know what you're eligible for more time in the parks. Our next tip is to know which restaurants you need to rope drop. Now, this is a completely new tip that we've really never had to use before, but knowing which restaurants are the hardest to book or form lines early is very, very important right now. So Nomad Lounge at Disney's Animal Kingdom and other locations without reservations, like those lounges in the parks, and Trader Sam's at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort when it reopens, are some of the toughest. They can fill up very quickly, and if you're not there when they open, you may find yourself waiting a while to get a table. So arrive when the restaurant opens, if you know it's popular, to get a seat. Now, if you weren't able to get a reservation to a restaurant that takes reservations, this is also a good time to check if there are last-minute openings at restaurants that book up quickly. Places like Be Our Guest Restaurant in Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's Royal Table in Magic Kingdom. These are popular restaurants. They book up fast, but if you check as soon as they open for the day, you may be able to snag a last-minute table. Next tip is to look into those Disney Vacation Club rentals. Even if you're not a DVC member, you can get some great deals renting Disney Vacation Club points from a DVC rental company. DVC villas come in several sizes, from studios with kitchenettes to 3-bedroom villas with full kitchens. You'll find them at resorts like Animal Kingdom Lodge, Wilderness Lodge, Grand Floridian. Basically, almost every deluxe resort on Disney World property has a Disney Vacation Club Villas component. These are the high-end, expensive hotels. They've got DVC rooms. You can rent them directly through Disney, or you can use a rental company like David's DVC Rentals. Disney Vacation Club members sell their points, which can then be used by non-members to rent DVC villas. This is typically much cheaper than booking directly through Disney for those villa rooms. Now, if you're completely confused, don't worry. We've got a great blog post answering all of your questions about DVC point rental right here. Okay, this next one's an awesome tip that hopefully won't stress you out as much as some of the others. Find places to relax in the parks. You can't always take a break back at the hotel, so find lounges or quieter areas where you can get some downtime between rides. Best time to find these places is before you go. Know where they are so you can get to them quickly when you need that downtime. Sometimes need to get off your feet, get that AC, look for lounges or bars attached to restaurants in the parks, or plan a midday meal for some downtime during the hottest part of the day. If you got toddlers that need to run off some steam, look for play areas and splash pads around the parks. One of the best places is going to be in the queue at Dumbo. It's a full play area in the AC with benches for adults. Just hop in line for the ride and let them know you want to go to the play area. You don't actually need to be riding Dumbo to go and play in the play area. And one of my personal favorite places to let a toddler sort of do their thing is the Seas with Nemo and Friends over in Epcot. That is a great place. Giant aquarium, lots of space to kind of wander around and look around, and they can kind of lead you for a little while when you're over there. All right, number 31, don't overplan your day. You'll end up in line longer than you expected, or it'll take you longer to get somewhere, so it's always important to leave some wiggle room in your plans. If you plan lighter, you'll actually be able to get everything done. If you overplan, there's a good chance you won't get to it all, and then you'll feel that FOMO at the end of the day and feel like you aren't getting your money's worth from your trip. I'm telling you right now, there's no way to do everything at Disney World. It's physically impossible. So pick the highlights, have a couple of things in mind if you end up with extra time, and make sure everything else is gravy. That gives you some time to really enjoy your family, enjoy your meals, enjoy the rides you do ride, and then get some good sleep at night, my friends. A Disney World trip is a different kind of trip, and you will be exhausted. Number 32 on our list, stay late. If you don't need to get the kids to bed by 9 p.m., plan to stay at the parks all the way to the end. Lines for rides will get shorter as the end of the night gets closer, and you can squeeze in one last ride. As long as you're in line before the park closes, you get to ride. Crowds are also going to thin out. Magic Kingdom is open 2 hours after fireworks right now, and most people will leave right after the show. If you stay after Magic Kingdom closes, you can see the Kiss Goodnight, a little light show on the castle that happens about 30 minutes after closing each night. Stores stay open after the parks close too, but they can be busy then as everyone crams in some last-minute shopping. Take your time getting to the buses. They're going to be crowded anyway. Better to just wander around a emptying out park than stand in line for a bus. Next tip is don't miss the extras. Many of the little extras that make Disney World so special are still missing, but you can catch the Electrical Light Parade, Dapper Dans, and loads of characters around the parks. Some you can find in the Times Guide, others are sporadic and impromptu. You'll need to keep an eye open and maybe ask a cast member when a character might show up. We expect that some of the Streetmosphere characters, like the Citizens of Main Street and bands that used to perform in the parks, may start coming back later this year or in 2022. Our fingers are crossed for that anyhow. Stay tuned to DFB Guide because those little extras are some of our team's favorite memories, and we don't want you to miss out once they return. Okay, now we've talked about Times Guides a couple times in this video already, and that's tip number 4 is to pick up a Times Guide. This has shows, activities, any of those extras that do have set times, all listed for you, so you'll know exactly what's going to happen in the park that day. You'll find Times Guides right at the front of each park with the maps, and you can find all that info in the My Disney Experience app as well, but some of the smaller performances or things that have been added last minute may not be listed in the app. Plus, sometimes a hard copy is just easier to grab out of your bag and check. Pick it up when you enter the park so you don't miss a thing. The Times Guide is also a fun thing to put your kids in charge of. They can be responsible for looking at the Times Guide, seeing what's happening, and deciding what they want to do that day. Tip number 35 is to store your luggage. If you arrive before your room is ready or you're leaving late in the day, add in some extra park time and store your bags at Bell's Services at your hotel. Each Disney World hotel has a Bell Services desk that can help you with storing and moving your luggage. They can keep things refrigerated for you if you have any medications or anything else as well. Just give them a heads up. This has come in super handy, and even my husband and I, who are very, very, very particular about leaving our computers with anybody, feel very comfortable leaving all of our bags with Bell Services. We've never had an issue. But of course, always do what makes you the most comfortable. All right, number 36 is check out Disney Springs. Disney Springs is worth a visit for the restaurants alone, but there's tons of shopping and other activities. Now, if you don't know what Disney Springs is, that's the shopping and dining district in Walt Disney World, right there on property. There's enough to fill a whole day, but plan at least a few hours to see it. Find yourself rained out, don't want to brave the parks, then go to Disney Springs for bowling or a movie. And if you realize you packed a little too light but don't want Mickey branded everything, Disney Springs has stores like Uniqlo and Lilly Pulitzer to fill in the gaps in your wardrobe. And of course, there are loads of restaurants. Some of the best restaurants in Disney World are at Disney Springs, including some of our favorites like Morimoto Asia, Wine Bar George, Homecoming, Raglan Road, Chicken Guy. So many good restaurants in Disney Springs you definitely don't want to miss out on. Here's another one of our big tips for saving money and not overfeeding yourself. Adults can order off the kids menus in some locations. So if you're not seeing something you like on the adult menu or you aren't looking to eat a huge portion of food, try ordering something from the kids menu. Now there are caveats to this one. This is really easy to do at quick service or fast food restaurants. Anyone can order a kids meal, no problem. They will be smaller portions with a small drink, usually some fruit, and it's cheaper than an adult meal, so you can save some money by ordering the kids' meal too. This is a go-to for my reporting team and for me. When we're in the parks, we know we're going to have to eat a bunch of stuff, but when we start getting hungry, we usually will order a kids' meal because it's just the right amount of food to fill you up till you have to review another new food item. But table service restaurants are a little bit different for ordering off the kids' menu. Adults should be able to order off the kids' menu in table service or sit-down restaurants, but they will give you an adult-sized portion of that meal, and you will pay an adult-sized price for that meal. So you're not going to save money ordering off the kids' menu in a table service situation. That's only going to help you out in a quick service or fast food situation, because those kids' entrees are meant for those under the age of 9. But if you don't like the food in the adult portion of the menu, you'd rather have the chicken nuggets or the mac and cheese, you can go ahead and order it. You're just going to pay a slightly higher price, and you're going to get a larger portion. Tip number 38, bring that rain gear. I know we talk about it a lot on the channel, but I'm telling you guys, it is critical. It will rain in Central Florida. That's the one thing you can count on. You don't want to be caught off guard and spending tons of money on Disney ponchos and umbrellas when that money could go to Dole Whips or fun souvenirs or super overpriced sweatshirts. Most people are going to duck inside during a storm or head back to the hotel after getting drenched, so you are going to want to keep going on indoor rides for shorter lines. Hold out until the storm is done for an emptier park. Bring those small packable ponchos and well-tested mini umbrellas. Those are your best friends. And if ponchos aren't your thing, there are actually small packable raincoats as well. I have a really fun one that kind of looks like a poncho. It's like a swing coat. It's got a lot of extra material, but it zips up the front and has snaps up the front, so I don't have to put something over my head. And it packs up real small, and it's been just wonderful. So I bring that all the time because it also fits over my camera bag because it's got that extra material. Now, even when it looks like there's no rain on the radar, having those easily stowable items means you won't be stuck soaking wet or buying a second poncho in the parks. I promise you, I cannot count the number of times that it is said on the weather app that it's not going to rain in Disney World, and then it rains in Disney World. We've got reviews over on DisneyFoodBlog.com of some of the wet weather items we've tested out in the parks, so check those out to see how Disney ponchos really hold up. And speaking of rain, don't forget that your feet are going to get wet too. So plan ahead for that shoe situation like we said earlier in this video. Maybe wear shoes that are going to dry quickly. I live and die by those sports sandals that are made out of quickly drying material. They have a back strap so they don't fall off your feet when they get wet. You know how when you walk in wet flip-flops, it's just a disaster. Crocs do well in the rain. Those new rubber Birkenstocks, those don't do too bad in the rain. So for you and your family, think about rain when you think about footwear, because soggy sneakers are no fun. All right, next tip is to save some popular rides for later in the day. This is a weird tip. You probably haven't heard this one before. Lots of guides are going to tell you to hit the big rides first thing in the morning, but lots of people are reading those guides, so you won't always find short waits first thing. Unless it's going to totally ruin your trip if you don't get to ride that certain ride that always draws a long line as soon as the park opens, leave it until later in the day. Lines will often get shorter as the night goes on. Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom often has a longer line at park opening than it does in the afternoon, because right now Animal Kingdom is one of the parks that opens very early, so people go there first and then they hop to another park later in the day. So the Flight of Passage line actually gets shorter later in the day. And while wait times for rides vary widely, with the new park hopping rules and the new park pass situation, you are starting, and the new park hours, I guess I should even say, because Epcot doesn't even open till 11, you're starting to see some different patterns emerge that didn't really exist before the park closures. So Flight of Passage, that line might be a lot shorter later in the day. Now, if you will be heartbroken if you don't ride something, then don't follow this tip, because things can go wrong and a ride may close and not reopen, and you'll wish you just waited in the 95 45-minute line first thing in the morning. So if your whole life will be ruined if you don't ride Big Thunder Mountain, then go get on Big Thunder Mountain first thing in the morning. But if it's something that you definitely want to ride, but it's maybe 5 or 6 down on your must-do list, you can probably wait till later and see if those lines shorten up. All right, number 40, get outside the parks. Yep, spend some time at your hotel, plan dinner at another hotel to check it out. The theming is incredible at Disney hotels, and you might find where you want to stay on your next trip. That's Disney's whole jam. They want to make sure that you are wowed by all their hotels so that you'll spend more on your next trip. Right now, Disney's still pretty strict with visiting hotels you aren't staying at, though, so make a dining reservation to guarantee you'll be able to get in somewhere that you aren't staying. Speaking of hotels, look for those bounce back offers. Often Disney's going to give current guests an offer to book a future trip with a better deal than what's currently available publicly. This is a super, super good tip, and a lot of people do not know about this. You may see a flyer in your room advertising a bounce back offer, but you can also call 407-939-1923 or call the front desk from your in-room phone to ask if there are any bounce back offers to book your next trip. Keep in mind that you can cancel that trip or change the dates if things don't line up, but these deals are typically better than what's offered to the general public, so go ahead and book it, and then if you need to cancel it or change it, you can do that. No reason not to lock in that discount. Because guess what? Those bounce back offers, they're only available if you book before you check out of the hotel on this trip. Yeah, sneaky. All right, number 42 is to use those single rider lines. Single rider lines are starting to come back in Disney World, and if you don't mind splitting up your group, you can have a much shorter wait time by using that line rather than the standby line. Also use rider switch if you have little ones who can't ride everything just yet. Only half of your party will need to wait in the standby line with rider switch while someone waits with those who can't or don't want to ride. Then you switch and the person who was waiting doesn't have to wait in the full line. They can go through the Fast Pass line. It's a great tip. Now, single rider is available at Expedition Everest, Test Track, Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, and Rock and Roller Coaster. Rider switch is available at nearly every ride with a height requirement. All right, number 43 is to take advantage of your hotel activities. Tours, hidden Mickey hunts, movies, campfires, yoga, painting. Hotels have lots of free extras and some that cost just a nominal fee that you should plan to take advantage of if you have the time. You can find out what your hotel offers by picking up an activity guide at check-in. They'll also be posted around the resort. Some hotels also offer paid activities like tie-dye workshops or animation and painting classes, so definitely look into those as well. Those can be really, really fun things to do, and those can make some great family memories just like activities in the parks can. All right, tip number 44 is to leave the parks for lunch, especially in Magic Kingdom where there are so many good options, a quick walk or monorail ride away. Lunchtime is when the parks will be the most crowded, so skip out on all the hustle and bustle and opt for your sit-down meal in the middle of the day. Not every restaurant offers lunch, but there are still enough great options to choose from, like Grand Floridian Cafe outside of Magic Kingdom. That's one of our absolute top picks for brunch or lunch. You got Kona Cafe over there at Polynesian Village Resort, Sanaa over at Animal Kingdom. Definitely great options, always highly recommended, and usually not too busy in the middle of the day. Number 45 tip is to keep some cash on hand. You can use credit cards for almost everything in Disney World, but it's always a good idea to keep a little cash on hand just in case. You may need cash for tips for valet or bell services, or just in case a credit card machine goes down but you still really want that snack. Sometimes it's easier to pay cash for things like balloons. And don't rely on your Magic Band for payments. You can charge purchases back to your room with your Magic Band, but sometimes the system isn't working or there's a glitch, so always bring a backup method of payment just in case. And I've actually also started to bring a backup credit card as well, because sometimes if you don't tell your credit card company that you're traveling, they will mark your purchases as fraud. And that's super fun because then you can't, buy anything for a while until you call them and let them know that yes, you are in Florida and you would like to use your credit card. So I always bring a backup credit card too. And an extension of this tip, call your credit card company and let them know you'll be traveling so you don't get dinged as fraud, right? That's probably the better tip, AJ. You should just do that. Okay, next tip number 46, plan a day to sleep in. Epcot opens late at 11 a.m. right now, so take advantage and get some extra rest. Disney World is a lot more walking than most of us are used to, and even if you're fit and walk a lot, the oppressive heat and mental stress of a day at Disney World can take its toll and really hit differently. I know, I'm making it sound like so much fun, aren't I? Don't plan a non-stop vacation, you guys. Give yourself and your family some lazy mornings and relaxing evenings, some time by the pool. You are really, really going to need it. You won't regret it. I know you've done crazy vacations before, but this is just something different. So plan those extra relaxing times. If you don't need them, that's great. You can go to the parks. You can do something adventurous and energetic if you don't need that extra time to rest or that extra time to kind of decompress. But build that time in just in case. Number 47 on our list is to double check your reservations. Okay, this is a huge deal. Confirm your hotel. Double check you've got the dates right on your in-park advanced dining reservations to line up with your park passes. You want to find out you made a mistake a month before your trip, not when you realize you're supposed to be at Sci-Fi Dine-In, but you didn't get the park hopper tickets and you're in Animal Kingdom right now with no way to make it to that reservation. Double and triple check and give your hotel a call to confirm your hotel reservation as well about a week ahead so that you know everything's ready to go. There's no problems. You've checked all the boxes. You've crossed all the T's. You've dotted all the I's. Computers can glitch. Every single person on our team has experienced one of those situations. So always confirm, and take screenshots of all of your reservations too, so that you've got those in case you have to show them to a cast member to clarify a situation. Next tip is to pack those snacks for the kids. I know, sounds like a no-brainer, right? We all know to pack snacks for our kids. Anybody who has a kid is fully aware of the snack situation. But this gets a little sticky. You're not going to find Cheerios and other name brand snacks at Disney World. So bring them with you if you have a Cheerio addict on your hands or if you need a particular kind of snack. Don't risk it not being available at Disney World. Even if you've seen a certain cereal there before, don't leave it to chance because things can change all the time and your hotel quick service restaurant may not have Fruit Loops that day and your kid won't eat Frosted Flakes and you got a cranky kid, he's not going to eat breakfast, it's going to be a disaster. I know you know what I'm talking about, so you don't need to bring all the comforts of home on vacation with you, but a few things can make a big difference. If you know there's something that your kid needs, just bring it with you or ship it to yourself from Amazon or Instacart it to your hotel when you get there. You get it. Number 49, bring that nightlight and a clock. Yep, Disney hotel rooms get real dark when you pull the curtains closed. And even if you aren't afraid of the dark, having a nightlight to help you find the bathroom at 3 a.m. is kinda nice. And it's especially nice if you have kids who are afraid of the dark. Bring a reading light too if you want to stay up later than the kids. Some of those rooms aren't set up with too many dim, low lights that won't wake your kids up. And if you like knowing what time it is, bring a clock because most Disney hotel rooms don't have them anymore. I always travel with a little travel alarm clock that folds up. I just stick it in my suitcase and it just lives there and I use it when I need it. I also have a couple of plug-in night lights that I travel with that I even use when I don't have my kids with me because I plug them in to the bathroom walls so that I don't have to go turn on the bright light when I use the restroom in the middle of the night because then I won't get back to sleep. So night lights, those are key. All right, number 50, make those room requests. Okay, you are spending a lot of money on your hotel room. I think you're aware of that. So make sure you're getting what you want. When you check in online, you can make room requests like a certain building, certain view, close to the lobby or transportation. You want this particular balcony. Those requests are never guaranteed, and some, like a theme park or water view, may come with an upcharge, but you're spending big bucks, so try to get the room you really want. You can also call the room assigner about 5 days before your arrival to note your request on your reservation. Disney can be sneaky, and a water view can mean you're looking at a fountain instead of the lagoon that you expected to be looking at. So call about 5 days ahead of time, call your hotel and say, hey, here's my reservation. I would really love to be looking at Crescent Lake instead of a pool as a water view. And they will absolutely take that into consideration. All right, tip number 51 is to ship those souvenirs home. Don't worry about cramming everything you buy in your suitcase or carrying them around the parks all day. Anything you purchase in Disney World can be mailed directly home. Just ask the cashier and they'll take care of it for you. It will cost a little bit to ship the items, but probably not as much as an overweight suitcase is going to cost you at the airport. If you bought a lot of stuff that you realized won't fit in your luggage, take it to your hotel's gift shop. Show them the receipt that you bought the items at Disney and they can ship it all together for you. Great tip and definitely helpful. Tip number 52 is to get the DFB guidebook. We have a lot of great tips in this video and years of videos on the channel to help you prepare for your Disney trip, but if you want even more in-depth info, pick up one of our guidebooks. We've got snack guides, Epcot Festival guides, and our huge over 800-page DFB guide to Walt Disney World dining, which is where I literally pour out everything I know into that guidebook. This guide has worksheets to help you budget your dining, reviews of every single restaurant in Disney World, and so many tips to help you plan the perfect vacation. And as you can tell from this video, I'm pretty meticulous about the way that I share tips, and so that guide has literally everything in it because I can't live with myself if I don't tell you everything or if you miss out on something because we didn't put it in there. So it's all in there, all the caveats, all the specifics, all the do this if this, but not if this. All that stuff's in there, you guys. It is packed with information. I'm not necessarily a funny person, so it's not hilarious, but it is useful and informational. Now you can find all of our guides at dfbstore.com, and our YouTube viewers get a special discount. Use code YouTube to get a discount on any of those guidebooks or those bundles. Yep, we bundle up the guidebooks so that you pay even less if you buy more. Now, we keep the guides up to date with all the latest information. You can subscribe to your channel here to get notified whenever we publish a new video as well. Tip number 53, note that tickets cost different prices on different days. Big deal. Again, Disney being super sneaky. If you want to save the most money, plan to travel during the slow times or off season when ticket prices are lower. Single day park tickets start at $109, go up to $141 per day on holidays. So take a look at Disney's date-based ticketing calendar to find the cheapest days. They list them all there, so it's not a secret. Cheap park ticket days will also coincide with cheaper hotel rates, usually lower crowds. So bundle up those benefits and go during the low times. Tip number 54, stay alert for changes. Oh my gosh, you guys, the past 2 years have been insane. I know you know what I'm talking about. Disney has changed so much and they change stuff every single day. So join our newsletter. Be the first to know when the Disney dining plan comes back, when FastPass returns, if Disney changes the booking windows for restaurants. Again, like I said, it's 60 days right now, could go back to 180 days anytime. Miss it and you could miss out big time on dining reservations or FastPass reservations or in getting a Disney dining plan or even a free Disney dining plan. We've got a lot of new ride and restaurant openings on the horizon, for many of which we're still waiting an opening date. Our newsletter subscribers are the first ones to get that news, and it comes straight to your inbox. We actually even send out extra newsletters on days that big news happens, just so that you get that first, especially if there's a booking window situation that you need to take advantage of immediately. So when huge news hits, we send out a newsletter ASAP. You don't miss the opportunity to book that new restaurant, that new ride, that new hotel, or that new discount. We've got the link to join our newsletter right in the description of this video, and it is completely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. So it's kind of guaranteed to delight, or you can just say peace out. All right, tip number 55, hydrate. Right, I already talked about getting free water in the parks, but staying hydrated is going to get its own point here. This is honestly the most important thing you can do in Disney World. Take care of yourself. Stay hydrated, get enough sleep, make sure you eat some healthy things in between all the sugar. You will feel better, you'll be happier, you'll be less stressed, you'll be nicer to your family, you'll be able to enjoy your vacation more if you take care of yourself. Now, a lot of people don't even think about hydrating and drinking enough water. But when you are out in the 90+ degree weather, in the heat, in the sun all day long, and you're probably sunburned and you're sweating and you're walking a ton, you will feel firsthand what dehydration feels like. And basically it feels like you're getting dizzy, you're starting to feel exhausted. Some people even pass out. And I know even if you've never had to worry about dehydration before, this may be the first time. I know a lot of people that have never even given it a thought, and then suddenly they are feeling it in Disney World. So remember, by the time you get thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So keep drinking throughout the day. Try to make sure it's water that you're drinking most of the time, and that'll give you a good baseline to attack the rest of that vacation. All right, number 56 is to screenshot your plans. I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the video, but the My Disney Experience app, as you know, holds all your reservation info, but technology is not without its glitches, and your phone's gonna lose battery real fast if you're just on that app all day, every day. So take screenshots of your reservations, your Rise of the Resistance boarding passes, and all of your plans, and have them as a backup. If you're low on phone battery, make that screenshot your lock screen so you don't have to waste more battery to find it. You will need your phone for a lot of different things, so make sure to keep it charged. Bring a portable charger, bring your power block, charge while you're dining. La Cava del Tequila and Epcot's Mexico Pavilion even has charger blocks you can use while dining there. And if all that fails, have a hard copy backup or another phone you can access your plans on just in case. Tip number 57, one of my favorite tips ever. I love this tip and I always talk about it. Even when I first started Disney Food Blog, no Pepsi, no gum. Just like those Cheerios, you aren't going to find Pepsi, just Coke products in Disney World. And there's no gum at all. So if you know you need your Diet Pepsi and a pack of gum, bring them with you or have them delivered. And tip number 58, have food delivered to your hotel. Yep, you can have grocery delivery straight to your Disney World hotel. You can use services like Amazon Fresh, Prime Grocery Delivery, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Garden Grocer. This can save you a ton of money on things like bottled water or quick breakfasts in the room. And you can ensure you'll have all of your family's favorite things. I love that everything can be delivered to your hotel. You don't have to worry about spending too much money on overpriced, cold, takes forever to get to your room service. You can just order from DoorDash or Grubhub or something. That's awesome. Things have changed dramatically as far as getting food to yourself or getting deliveries to yourself at your hotel from when I started staying in Disney hotels, decades ago, and it's so much easier now. So take advantage of it, you guys. Instead of packing 2 weeks worth of diapers, just have them delivered to your hotel. It's easy, breezy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so there's 58 tips, lots of information, but don't forget, you don't have to take any notes. You can get a list of everything I just talked about by heading to disneyfoodblog.com/best tips. I hope these tips help you with your planning and having a smooth vacation. We do the hard work here at DFB and the on-the-ground reporting so that you can have a better trip and so that you can win Disney. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.